Speaking of FX Australian dollar yen, Turtle Hermit, Kame from the Kame Group is sending it to you. I'm doing a blog, Twitter, and notes, so please take a look. We are also looking for sponsors. Please DM me on Twitter. In addition to this YouTube distribution, I also broadcast radio every day in Japanese. We are talking about FX trading and working life. Since it is pasted in the summary column, click it. I think the voice will flow. I would be very happy if you could listen to me when you have time. I will talk about predictions and strategies from now on, but what is more important than that is the ability to take action. For example, the ability to cut losses. Before taking a position, do you decide the loss cut price firmly, enter the stop price, and take the position? Also, as my rule, I basically do not move the stop order. In my case there is nothing to move. Turtle Hermit Radio, Tuesday, August 16, 2022. AUD, JPY day trading. I will send you today's forecast and strategy. The most important is the ability to act. Hello, my name is Turtle Hermit. I started FX 21 years ago. Since the beginning, I have been trading only the Australian dollar and yen until today, so I am a self-proclaimed expert on the Australian dollar and yen. And I also broadcast this radio every day. Come on, I've lost a lot in the last 21 years, 30 million yen. I went through personal bankruptcy and debt consolidation. But I have been charting and trading all the time today. Well, I think I like FX as much as I think. The reason is that it is fun to collect and study a lot of information on the other side of the world and the economy through FX. Well, that's how I am. Well, I wish I could win. But there is no trade that you can always win. That part is even more interesting. Well, that's how I've been continuing until today, so I hope you can use it as a reference for your trading. So it's been more than 3 years every day. We deliver every day. Therefore, I would be happy if you could subscribe to the channel with confidence. Now that I have introduced myself, I would like to talk about the Australian dollar and yen. It's getting interesting. However, today is another big day and the big question is whether or not I am below 92.00 now. Now, first cut below 93 yen. Can you do it? If you enter 92 yen next time, 92.50 will be the point. And 92.00. With that kind of feeling, can I go or not? If it doesn't go, it seems that the bottom will come out again and it will rise. Well, just like that, yesterday was Monday after the week. It started with a decline. So I think it will be very important to see if it continues as it was yesterday, depending on the flow of Tokyo time and European time today. If a continuous decline occurs as it is, it will become an interesting development with a downward trend. Even monthly, it means that it will be interesting because there is a possibility that it will be negative. Also, once the uptrend begins, there will be a solidity, and this time the monthly level may surpass the latest high, so there is a possibility that it will be a little difficult to see the market. I'm here. What does that mean? Speaking of which, are you still going up? Still going up? As you say, this is because an adjustment decline is likely to occur. But it is likely that it will continue to rise. In that sense, it can be said that it is difficult to read. Well, this is for me. However, Forex is a devil, so it's always a difficult market. That's how it feels in my experience. Maybe. Until now, the rising trend has continued for a long time. As the proverb says, it's not over yet. It's still going up. It's easy if you basically say it's orderly. It is also easy. I think it's difficult for contrarian-oriented people to say that. With that in mind, the stock fell yesterday. So I'm paying close attention to today's movements. With that in mind, I would like to proceed as a day trade today. Well, then, I'm looking forward to working with you. Disclaimer: at your own risk. As for how to use this site, beginners can use it as a mirror trade, reverse mirror trade, or no position to establish and improve their own investment methods and my rules. Well, I think that's an important point for discretionary traders and for people who create programs such as system trades and EAs. The market is always a living thing and changes. So I think it's necessary to establish and improve. Also, I think that you can use the past videos of this YouTube distribution as materials for chart analysis and analysis of individual and mass psychology. I would like to talk about yesterday's New York Dow, crude oil and gold prices. The New York Dow is bought on the view that inflation will peak out and the Fed will slow its pace of rate hikes. It ends at about plus $151. The 10-year U.S. Treasury bond yield has fallen, with a tentative low to close at 2.799%. Crude oil prices have turned negative on concerns about a slowdown in the Chinese economy. It ended at about $89 per barrel. Gold is selling as the EUR USD falls. In the exchange market, the dollar-yen pair dropped to around 132.56 after the New York Fed's manufacturing index for August, which was announced after the New York Open, fell significantly below expectations. However, after that, it seems to have rebounded and touched around 133.34. EUR/USD is down. The chart on the right is the daily chart of the New York Dow. Rising. Now, I would like to review yesterday's AUD JPY daily chart. The chart on the right is an enlarged view of the daily chart. Open 95.086 to close 93.604, spread 1.482. The high is at 95.140. The bottom is at 93.072, and the maximum price range is 2.068. The daily chart is a shadow line. Flow and analysis so far. The previous Monday, the morning of Tokyo time, fell from 95.00 to 94.00. In the afternoon, it fell further to 94.25. European time also continued to fall. It was 93.50 at 2000 in the first half, and it was close to 93.00 at 2100. After that, it is a reversal rise of the correction after the plunge. New York time ended with a rise adjustment of about 80 sen. We believe this move has resulted in some profit-taking or closing positions in the Aussie dollar, which had a solid and strong rally last week. Indicator of the day, an index of 3 or higher on a scale of 1 to 5 is UK employment at 1500. Severity 4. UK ILO unemployment rate is 15 o'clock. This is also a priority 4. I think it moves a pound. German ZEW Business Confidence Index 1800. Importance 4. Euro ZEW Business Confidence Index 1800. I think the euro will move. Canadian housing starts at 2115. And at night, US housing starts at 2130. Canadian Consumer Price Index 2130. US Industrial Production Index 2215. It has an importance level of 4. It had fallen below the clouds but rose with a long underbelly. Ranged around the upper limit of the cloud and surged above 10 yen. Ranged in the high price range, MACD is in positive territory. Stochastic is 80. The price level off while being supported by clouds, but then continued to make wide positive lines and soared vertically, while moving up and down in the high price range. It is a movement aiming for the top. The price range is gradually converging. MACD is in the negative range. Stochastic is 70. Added medium to long-term perspective 1 looking at the weekly chart. It fell further this week. If it approaches 92.00, the top side will be heavy and there is a possibility that it will fall in the future. However, if it breaks above 94.50 again and hits 95 yen, it will become firm and break out of the top. 2 looking at the monthly chart, the opening of this month is 93.10. If it becomes a negative line and the body of the candlestick becomes thicker, there is a possibility of a correction down. However, until then, it seems that the firmness will still come out. A flat range supported by clouds, but mullet is expensive. The point is whether it can break out from here on out. MACD is positive zone, stochastic is add. A flat range supported. Range centered on clouds. The point is 92.50, the lower limit of clouds. MACD is in positive territory, stochastic is 60. After breaking through the clouds, it stalled and entered the thick cloud. Whether it will be supported from here and rise above the clouds again, or will it fall toward the lower limit? MACD is in the negative range, stochastic is 30. Plunging from above the clouds to below the clouds. For the time being it has stopped, but the question is whether the future movement will eventually rise and enter a range. Or will it still fall? MACD is in positive territory, stochastic is 40, plunging from above the. Next, let's look at the Australian dollar yen with the moving average line. 15 minutes to 4 hours. Now, the bottom left hour leg is suppressed by the short-term line. It is supported by the long-term line on the lower right 4-hour bar. Next, let's look at the 8-hour to monthly charts. On the 8-hour foot, the medium-term line and long-term line are falling below. Even though the daily chart has broken below the medium-term line, it is supported by the long-term line for the time being. The weekly chart has fallen below the short-term line, but if the next breakout occurs, the medium-term line will be the target. The monthly foot is still solid. Today's resistance values are 93.75, 94.00 and 94.25. Support today, 93.00, 92.50, 92.00. A range to remember today, 93.00 to 93.75 on a small move. 92.50 to 94.00 for medium width movements. 92.00 to 94.25 if moved significantly. As long as it is today, if it rises as a pattern assumed around the New York time close. Closed around 94.00. Closes near 94.50. For the range, it closes around 93.50. If it falls, it will close around 93.00. Closed around 92.50. Closed around 92.00. For buying, 1 buy until 93.00, withdraw below 92.90. For sale, 1 sell up to 93.85, withdraw above 93.95. Let's take a look at currencies other than the Australian dollar yen. The dollar yen has fallen, but there is some resilience. The euro yen has fallen considerably due to the appreciation of the yen. So in euro dollar, the dollar is strong. Looking at the AUD trade, the AUD was weak yesterday after being too strong last week. It was weaker than the US dollar, the euro and the pound. Currently, the forecast around 7 o'clock in the morning of Tokyo time is range, decline, and rise. I expect the daily chart to be a negative line. But predictions are only predictions, so next slide. Today's strategy and foundation. Basic policy, 4 hours. I would like to determine the position by determining whether it will go above the clouds or not. If it falls below 93.40, the possibility of a drop increases, so sell. 93.85 well if it rises. Yes, it looks like it's going to be solid, so it's a feeling that I'm thinking in the direction of buying. Tokyo time is a wait and see. I wonder if there will be a flow from European time. If it goes as expected and if it falls, I would like to try holding a sell position. The buy position is profitable frequently. If it comes off, well, the point is, don't do it when you don't know. It's quiet, as a point to keep in mind. We will pay close attention to movements in the dollar, yen, cross yen, crude oil, and US stocks. Finally, I would like to say that there are no missed strikeouts in trading. In baseball, strike batter out means missed strikeout, but it's not a trade. For example, I wish I had this position. In terms of baseball, I wish I had hit it. It was a good course. By overlooking, no funds will move. Well, if you didn't trade separately, nothing happened. You may have made a profit, but you may also have lost. If you think so, it's okay that your funds won't change. That's why in trading, you do it to make money anyway. But if you hold a position in a hurry, it won't go in the right direction. Even if you happen to be lucky enough to make a profit, that lucky profit can lead you in the wrong direction. I happen to be lucky, and the behavior of jumping on is a habit. Well, if you get into that bad habit, this bad habit will reduce your funds or blow you away for a while. It may take a long time to recover the funds. I've lost so much, so I'm saying this, so I don't think it's a mistake. Well, with that kind of feeling, the point is that by not having a position, it would be a waste if it worked as I had expected, and by falling into the fear of losing profit, I would reduce my funds. Easier to connect. Therefore, even if you don't have a position and think, oh, it's a waste, your funds will not decrease. In baseball, he strikes out and batters out, and his batting average drops. But trading saves money. This will never decrease. The number will not go down, so it's time to take a position. Just wait until the next position. Since the funds do not decrease, it means that you can wait until the next chance and you will not lose. Whether you can do this or not, whether you can withdraw from the market or not. It seems to be true, and the essence of trading, the so-called disease that makes you want to trade, can be a serious burn. So while keeping in mind that you can't miss a strikeout in trading, look at the chart coolly and say, today I don't feel like doing anything, focus on other things. Other hobbies are fine, so I think it's okay to do them. Especially in today's market, there are a lot of high mullet movements, so don't overdo it. I would like to end today by thinking about my trades from a medium to long-term perspective. Don't worry, let's survive. Then, based on the theme of working people plus alpha is the strongest. Our free time after graduating from working people, turtle, hermit sent. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow.